What's up, YouTubes? It's the Realist again. I'm here with part 3 of my example of explaining religious views in a non-offensive manner. And I'm explaining my religious views as an example, and I want you guys to know how I am. A little bit about me. And anyways, I want to touch on something before I get started real fast. I was just watching the ending bit of part 2 of this, and it dawned on me that my channel is called The Diary of the Realist. I've just started referring to myself as the Realist, and some of you may disagree with that, and being someone who is a realist would not have beliefs as I do, my religious beliefs, and my I wanted to explain that real fast. I'm a realist in the fact that I see things for what they are usually, situations and um, just situations in general. Like I just see it when someone's mouthing off or something. I see them for what it really is. They're being all big and bad and talking crap because they're making up for something, or because their dad didn't hug them enough or something. And I see that, and I'm not mean about it, and I respect that, and I find a way to deal with it in a manner that is actually helpful in situations instead of making it worse. And that's what makes me a realist. Um, I'll touch more on that though later. I want to get back to my point um, on meditation as I left off in part 2. In part 2, I was explaining how meditation can be used to be very calming and take stress off your day, and if it's getting too much. But there are different techniques you can meditate with and actually make yourself more spiritually aware, raise your vibration, and get and strengthen any psychic gifts you may have, or even obtain psychic gifts you didn't have to begin with. Um, and the first part about meditating like this is realizing that you perceive things of spirit, things of spiritual nature. Sorry, excuse me. Dang. Sorry. Um, you perceive things of spiritual nature through your imagination. Now, some have said this is a cop out and just a ploy, but if you pay enough attention to it, you'll actually feel the difference. But these the way it is your imagination the is the hallway between your conscious and your subconscious, and your subconscious is um is something that's highly affected by your spiritual self, your spiritual body, and because your spiritual body gets things to your conscious through your subconscious, and your imagination is kind of a hallway between these two things, and your spiritual body is aware of everything around you. And so what happens is, if you learn to feel these things, you'll let's say you're sitting meditating on an entity, trying to have a conversation with it. You'll at first you'll think you're just fucking making making up what the entity's responses are going to be in your head, and you're just basically tricking yourself. But as soon as you realize that there is the difference in the way that the responses feel. A response that you actually did make up will usually it'll feel just good enough, kind of. Just good enough. But an actual response, you will just feel to be the truth and really what you're looking for. And the reason this is because when when you are doing such things, it's actually your spiritual body is bringing in this information is perceiving and bringing in this information from the entity, because your physical body has no way of communicating with spiritual entities. So it's your spiritual body doing all this. And what's happening is this: how your spiritual body gets this, relays this to you, to your conscious, is through your subconscious, through your imagination. So you'll feel it as something like your own consciousness, your own conscious. Like when you feel bad when you did something or something like that. It'll feel kind of similar to that because your conscious is another thing that's directly related to your subconscious. But anyways, with these different meditations, you can learn. Hold on, I have some examples that I wrote down earlier because I didn't want to get all caught up in brain effed. But yeah, some of these meditations can be anything from learning to feel your own energy in your body, and I'm not going to go into any details or anything on how to do this. Suggest, comment, and inbox me or Facebook me if you do want me to go into any of these. I'll be more than happy to do videos on some different meditation techniques and whatnot, or any other thing you want me to elaborate on. But anyways, uh, a big one that's very very important is there's three things that help you battle your ego-based emotions. Now, if you want to go down the path of spiritual awareness and serving your divine self, your higher purpose, you it you need to suppress your ego and your ego-based emotions as much as you can, because your ego-based emotions are the things that get in the way of you being spiritually aware, of perceiving the entities around you, your intuitiveness even. And so you really got to work on making your ego not affect you in any way. And the way that this is done is truth, knowledge of spirit, and wisdom of God. Now, most people say, not most people say, now, most would just go to think that those are some very vague terms. They don't really understand how that would apply to suppressing your ego. Now, there's this book, very, very, very wonderful book, um, very entertaining too, regardless if you don't believe in this stuff or not, because it's written as a fictional novel instead of a book. But anyways, it was channeled by this psychic named Lewis Carroll, and the entity's name is Cryon. And he told about the story of this guy named Michael Thomas who went down this very spiritual journey, and he did it in a way and used a lot of uh, he just put it in a fictional form and made it into more of a story. But anyways, at one point he gets a sword of truth, a shield of knowledge of spirit, and the wisdom and the armor of the wisdom of God. And it's explained like this: the truth is your weapon against your ego. Truth, you can look at your ego, and when your ego starts to impede on your divine emotions and your very decisions, truth is how you slash it back down, because you know that you know what your ego is trying to do. It's trying to conflict with your spiritual awareness, and that truth in itself will break it down and everything. And also, you know, your ego will show its head when you are in situations that are stressful. Let's say you get into an argument with your friends or whatever. Now you can engage in the argument and fall into their stress and their drama, and serve your ego, but or you can sit back and use the sword of truth, and know that this is just some squabble that doesn't mean anything, and they're just upset over some other reason, or and then you can think on what that real reason is they're upset, and approach them in a non-offensive manner, in a logical manner, and help them out and deal with the situation, and also serve your higher purpose. And that's the problem with your ego, is your ego actually gets in the way of a lot of different things. and makes them turn out a lot worse than they can. And this isn't religious at all. This is basic psychology. Your ego, your pride, your vanity, your are the things that make you go out and do things that cause trouble, that make stress in your life. But anyways, and then you have the knowledge of spirit, the shield of knowledge of spirit. When it gets to be too much, sometimes your ego, you just really want to indulge yourself in physical emotions and whatnot. You have your shield of knowledge of spirit, and what that means is you focus on what you know about spirit, molecular vibration, your higher self, your own divinity, and your knowledge in itself will set you free, because that will get you thinking and in a meditative state and connected with spirit and God, goddess, all that is, and that connection will return that love and joy to you and help you to subside these urges. And then you have the armor of the wisdom of God. Now, nobody's born with any sort of wisdom or anything like that, but it's pulled in from other places. We gain our wisdom from the lessons we've learned in life. And the wisdom of God, the armor of wisdom of God, means you, the wisdom comes from the entities around you. When you become spiritually aware, you can actually conversate with your guides and your guardian angel and just different entities that are around you, and you can gain wisdom by talking to them. You get in a situation where you really need some wisdom, you can sit down, clear your mind, and ask them, and 9 times out of 10 they have a pretty good answer for you. It may not be what you want to hear all the time, but their answer will always put you back on the path of your higher self. Um, and that's an armor, because it's always absolute. If you do it correctly and focus on the wisdom of God and the entities around you, it will always give you answers and never fail you, just like a suit of armor. But this video is getting long again, reaching YouTube's 15-minute limit on my channel. So I'm gonna go to part 4, I guess, now. Wow, this is gonna be a pretty lengthy one. I hope people want to sit through it, and if not, I fully understand, because it's a little challenging to listen to sometimes. But anyways, have a great day. I really hope that I'm not offending anybody by anything I say, and I'm not being forceful in any manner. And if I am, that is not my intention. I apologize. I just really want to share with you guys this part of me, and also I want this information to be out there so people can have this and explore this option. It's a great option. And if you don't agree with this and you want to keep your faith, that's fine. Everybody it's their own choice. It's their own divine choice to choose their own faith, and it's okay. I accept it. And anyways, I'm gonna go on another rant here, but later's YouTubes. This is the Realist. Part 4 up next.